Before he wore the white of Madrid, before the Ballon d'Ors, the records, the global fame, there was one night, one storm, one final, when the boy from Madeira didn't just chase history, he caught it, in the pouring rain of Moscow. This is the story of how Cristiano Ronaldo became a champion of Europe, and how one missed penalty almost changed everything. The game that opened every door. Lisbon was electric that night. The floodlights from Estadio José Alvalade cut through the dusk like searchlights, illuminating a stage not for a concert, but for a statement. August 6, 2003, just a friendly match between Sporting Lisbon and Manchester United on paper. But for one 17-year-old, it was more than a game, it was a reckoning. Cristiano Ronaldo stood in the tunnel, his eyes locked forward, hands twitching with nervous energy. He wasn't supposed to start, but fate, masquerading as an injury to another winger, had opened a door. This wasn't just a match, it was a test. And in the stands, someone was watching. Sir Alex Ferguson sat beside his assistant, eyes narrowed, chewing gum slower than usual. He was there for fitness prep. What he saw would change the course of modern football. The whistle blew. From the first touch, Ronaldo didn't play like someone seeking approval. He played like someone who knew he belonged. Within minutes, he danced past John O'Shea, then did it again, twice. A flick here, a shoulder drop there. The United defense couldn't read him. Couldn't stop him. Every run left a trail of confusion. The crowd began to murmur. Then roar. In the 23rd minute, he cut in from the left, feinted, spun, and delivered a cross so precise, it felt choreographed. Sporting scored. But it wasn't the goal people remembered, it was the delivery. On the touchline, Manchester United players started whispering to each other. Who is this kid? Is he even real? In the locker room at halftime, Rio Ferdinand leaned over to Ferguson and said, "Boss, we need to sign him before someone else does." But it wasn't just a flair. Ronaldo didn't stop running. He tracked back. He pressed. He got fouled, hard, and got up faster. His socks were grass-stained, his shin bleeding slightly, but he never stopped smiling. That grin, half boyish, half brazen, told the world, "I'm ready." Back in Madeira, his family huddled around a small television. His mother, Dolores, clutched a worn rosary. His father, Jose, barely breathed. For them, this was the culmination of sacrifices, late-night cleaning shifts, borrowed shoes, and endless prayers. When Ronaldo sent another defender sliding into empty space, his older brother Hugo whispered, "He's going to be a star." After the final whistle, the Manchester United players walked off dazed. They hadn't just lost, they'd been humiliated by a teenager. Sir Alex didn't speak much in the post-match briefing. He just said, "Get him on the plane." Within 48 hours, the paperwork was in motion. Sporting's locker room went quiet when the news broke. Ronaldo was leaving. Some teammates cried. He didn't. He packed his boots, hugged his coaches, and said thank you. One staff member asked, "Are you scared?" Ronaldo replied, "No. England doesn't know me yet. But they will." He left Lisbon not just as a rising talent, but as a force already rewriting expectations. In England, the press called him the next Giggs or another flair player from Portugal. But they didn't know the boy who grew up with no room of his own. Who kicked oranges when footballs were too expensive. Who cried when he had to leave home at age 12, not because he was afraid, but because he missed the ball. The world saw highlights. His family saw a dream crystallizing. And Ronaldo? He saw the next hill to climb. Lisbon was behind him now. But it had given him something he'd never forget, a night where everything aligned. A moment when the right crowd, the right opponent, and the right hunger met. It wasn't just a friendly. It was his first major conquest. That night, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't just play football. He introduced himself to history. The price of becoming a star. England hit him like a storm. New city. New language. New pressure. Cristiano Ronaldo landed in Manchester at just 18, carrying not only his boots and a suitcase, but the weight of expectation. The Wonder Kid tag was now stitched to his name. And everyone wanted to see if he'd live up to it, or fall under it. His first training session at Carrington was a shock. The Premier League wasn't polite. Passes were missiles. Tackles were battles. Rio Ferdinand recalled, he had all these step-overs, all this flair. We kicked him hard. But he kept coming back. Cristiano didn't flinch. He trained harder. Stayed after sessions. Practiced free kicks until the sun dipped below the Manchester sky. When teammates left, he stayed. When they rested, he sprinted. Alone. But it wasn't easy. He struggled with English. Media mocked his style, both fashion and football. Some fans whispered, just another showboater. He missed home. The food. The language. His family. Every call with his mother ended the same. I'm proud of you, she'd say, but don't lose who you are. In matches, he dazzled. Then disappeared. He dribbled past defenders only to lose the ball. Sir Alex Ferguson saw the brilliance, but also the immaturity. You can beat a man once, he told Ronaldo, but don't beat him twice just to prove you can. It stung. But he listened. The first season was a roller coaster. Moments of magic followed by frustration. He cried in the locker room after losses. Slammed boots against the wall when subbed off. Gary Neville once said, he wanted everything, now. But greatness isn't fast food. Then came the press. Every tabloid photo. Every missed chance. Every exaggerated dive. The English media was merciless. They built him up, then tore him down. Ronaldo, all tricks, no end product. Is he worth the hype? The headlines screamed. Behind the scenes, he broke. One night, after a rough match, he sat alone in his apartment, scrolling through messages, some hateful, some worse. He didn't sleep. At dawn, he went for a run. Rain poured. He ran anyway. His body ached, but his mind screamed louder, you said you'd be the best. Prove it. And then, slowly, the shift. He bulked up, added muscle to survive the tackles. He started watching footage obsessively, Zidane, Figo, Thierry Henry. He analyzed their movements. Studied defenders. Changed his diet. Cut sugar. Reduced sleep distractions. The party stopped. The hunger grew. By the end of his second season, fans began to see it. Not just the flair, but the focus. He tracked back. Passed more. Celebrated less. His goals increased. But so did his control. In one moment during a match against Arsenal, he sprinted the full pitch, tackled, passed, and assisted, no tricks. Just grit. The stadium rose. Not for a goal, but for the growth. Ferguson noticed. Pulled him aside. Now you're learning. Now you're dangerous. Still, the pressure never eased. Every training was a performance. Every game, a test. And yet, he embraced it. When Rooney got the praise, he clapped. When others got the headlines, he trained harder. His competition was never the others. It was yesterday's version of himself. One evening, after scoring a brace, a reporter asked, "Are you the next George Best?" Ronaldo paused. Then replied, "I don't want to be the next anyone. I want to be the first Cristiano Ronaldo." That was the shift. From potential to obsession. From talent to terror. He hadn't arrived yet. But the world had been warned. The price of becoming a star. Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't just playing anymore, he was transforming. By his third season at Manchester United, the boy with stepovers had become a relentless machine. And yet, with every spotlight came a shadow. The price of fame wasn't measured in money. It was measured in loneliness. At 20, he was richer than he ever imagined. He had cars, watches, mansions. But they didn't make him sleep better. They didn't replace dinners with his family or walks with his father. Fame built walls, thick ones. He couldn't walk through a mall. Couldn't sit at a cafe. Everywhere he went, eyes followed, phones flashed. He smiled. Always smiled. But sometimes, even the strongest jaws ache from holding up a mask. He missed Madeira. The waves. The noise of the local pitches. The smell of his mother's cooking. But home was far, and expectations were closer than ever. Sir Alex Ferguson saw it. Pulled him into the office one day. "You're doing well, lad. But don't burn out. Even engines need oil." But Ronaldo didn't slow down. He doubled down. That season, his free kicks became lethal. He'd practiced the same strike 40 times after training. Adjusting his angle. His run-up. The way he struck with the knuckle of his boot. Some nights, the groundskeepers turned off the lights. He'd stay, kicking in the dark. Off the pitch, tabloids didn't relent. Every dinner companion became a mystery girl. Every wink became a scandal. One headline even questioned if he was too selfish to be a team player. He didn't respond. He just trained harder. Then came the 2006 World Cup. Portugal made it deep. But Ronaldo's defining moment didn't come from a goal, it came from a stare. Quarter-final. England. Wayne Rooney stomped on Ricardo Carvalho. Tensions exploded. Ronaldo approached the ref. The camera caught his gesture. It looked like he asked for the red card. Rooney, his United teammate, was sent off. England was furious. Headlines labeled him the devil in boots. Fans burned his jersey. Booed him in every stadium. Even Manchester wasn't safe. Chants followed him to away games. Threats arrived in letters. He didn't flinch. When the season resumed, he walked onto English soil like a gladiator. And he played like one. Every game, sharper. Every run, faster. The hate didn't break him. It built him. Rooney forgave him. Teammates rallied. And Ronaldo? He soared. By January, his stats were elite. Goals. Assists. Minutes played. But more than numbers, his attitude shifted. Less celebration. More execution. Less flair. More finish. He didn't just want to win. He wanted to dominate. One moment stood out. An away game at Fulham. The match was tied. In the 88th minute, he picked up the ball on the wing. Beat one. Then two. Then three. And slotted it past the keeper like it was scripted. The crowd, hostile minutes ago, rose. Even rivals couldn't deny what they saw. A phenomenon. Sir Alex, in the post-match interview, simply said, "That boy, he's different." Yet, privately, Ronaldo wrestled with demons. His father's health was deteriorating. Alcohol had taken its toll. Back home, calls were less frequent. And in his quiet apartment in Cheshire, Cristiano often stared at the ceiling, wondering, is success worth the silence? He started sending more money home. Built his mother a new house. Paid for his brother's rehab. But he couldn't heal everything. Not from 1,500 miles away. Still, he kept running. Scoring. Creating. And every time he stepped onto the pitch, he carried not just Portugal, but his past. And in doing so, he began to learn that greatness demands not just talent and work, but sacrifice. Real sacrifice. The kind no camera sees. The world was cheering now. But few knew what it cost. When he became their weapon, Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't just a prospect anymore. He was becoming a threat, sharp, fast, relentless. And as Manchester United evolved, so did he. But what turned him from a star into a weapon wasn't just his skill. It was how he responded when the world turned on him. It happened at the World Cup. Portugal versus England. A quarter-final clash. High tension. High stakes. Cristiano lined up against his club teammates. Scholes. Rooney. Ferdinand. He knew their moves. They knew his. But something unexpected changed everything. In the 62nd minute, Wayne Rooney got tangled with Ricardo Carvalho. A stamp. A red card. And just before the referee pulled out the card, the cameras caught Ronaldo running over, gesturing. It looked like he was calling for it. It looked like betrayal. When England was eliminated, the headlines weren't about the game. They were about Cristiano. Snake. Traitor. The British media went to war. Fans burned his jersey. Chanted obscenities. Even some United supporters turned. How do you come back from that? You don't. Unless you're Cristiano Ronaldo. He came back to Manchester and didn't defend himself. No interviews. No excuses. Just football. He let his feet speak. And they screamed. Every match became a statement. Every goal a rebuttal. He turned boos into background noise. Each jeer from the crowd made him sharper. Sir Alex knew what was happening. He didn't coddle. He challenged. In training, he raised expectations. In the locker room, he didn't shield Ronaldo, he demanded more. You want to be the best? Then earn it. Don't just prove people wrong. Make them regret ever doubting. And that's exactly what Ronaldo did. By mid-season, he was unplayable. Wingers watched him in awe. Defenders dreaded facing him. He was scoring with both feet, with his head, from angles no one else even attempted. His pace was blistering, his control surgical. Commentators started using words like unfair, machine, and inevitable. In one match against Bolton, he scored a hat trick in under 30 minutes. The stadium, once cold to him, erupted. Fans who booed him months ago now chanted his name. And Ronaldo? He didn't celebrate wildly. He just pointed to the badge. Calm. Like he knew this would happen all along. Off the pitch, he became more guarded. Interviews were brief. Smiles were rare. But in training, he was louder. Pushed teammates harder. Tevez. Nani. Even Rooney, eventually. The tension from the World Cup faded. In fact, it became fuel. United's front line became fire. And Cristiano was the spark. That season, he lifted his first Premier League title. Golden Boot. PFA Player of the Year. But none of that changed his habits. He still trained like he had something to prove. Because deep down, he did. Not just to critics, but to himself. In private, he told his mother, "They tried to break me. They thought I'd fall." She asked, "And what did you do?" He smiled. "I became unstoppable." That year wasn't just a highlight. It was a warning. Cristiano Ronaldo had turned pain into purpose. And now, the world wasn't just watching. It was bracing. The night that changed everything. It was May 21st, 2008. Rain was falling in Moscow. Not soft drizzle, heavy, cold, relentless. The kind that soaks through socks and nerves. The Luzhniki Stadium glowed like a fortress, and inside it, two English giants stood face to face. Manchester United. Chelsea. The UEFA Champions League final. For Cristiano Ronaldo, this wasn't just a game. It was the moment. The culmination of years spent proving, pushing, and punishing himself to become more than a star. He wasn't chasing fame anymore. He was chasing legacy. The match started fast. Slippery turf. Misty breaths. Crunched tackles. Ronaldo, in white, floated on the left wing like he owned the rain. In the 26th minute, Wes Brown sent a looping cross into the box. Cristiano rose, higher than anyone else, and hung in the air for a breathless moment. Bang. Header. Goal. He ran toward the corner flag, arms wide, face to the sky. 1,000 flashes caught him mid-celebration. At that moment, he wasn't just scoring. He was etching history. But football is cruel. Chelsea equalized. Drogba hit the post. Lampard nearly scored again. Extra time came. Tension thickened. In the 116th minute, Drogba slapped Vidic. Red card. the scales tipped again. Then, penalties. The cruelest of all endings. A test of nerve more than skill. Ronaldo stood third in line for United. He breathed deeply. Hands on hips. Rain running down his temples. He stepped up, stuttered, struck, saved. Chet guessed right. His heart dropped. He didn't scream. Didn't cry. He just walked back, lips pressed, gaze empty. For once, the unshakable man looked shaken. If United lost, that miss would define him. But fate wasn't done. Terry slipped. Anelka missed. And when Van der Sar made the final save, Cristiano collapsed to the turf. Arms spread. Eyes wide. He had won. Despite the miss. Despite the pressure. Despite it all. He cried. Openly. Rawly. For his father, who never saw him reach this peak. For his mother, watching from the stands, hands trembling. For the boy from Madeira, who used to juggle oranges because they couldn't afford footballs. In the locker room, the trophy passed from hand to hand. When it came to Cristiano, he held it longer. Tighter. He whispered something to it, no one heard. But everyone knew. That night changed everything. He became a European champion. The media, once divided, now bowed. World's best, they asked. Some already knew the answer. But Ronaldo didn't slow down. He won the Ballon d'Or that year. Broke goal records. Signed autographs until his fingers cramped. But inside, he stayed that same boy, the one who needed to prove he belonged. Sir Alex said in a later interview, "He's the most driven player I've ever coached. You can't teach that hunger. You can only hope to manage it." And Cristiano? He kept chasing. But that night in Moscow, that was the first time he stood at the top of the mountain. And he realized. He liked the view. In the world of football, greatness isn't given. It's earned. In sweat, in silence, in storms. That night in Moscow didn't just crown Ronaldo a champion. It proved something deeper. That even giants bleed, and still rise. If this story moved you, subscribe for more untold chapters from the legacy of CR7. Because this is just one page.